Hey there, Virgo Sun, Virgo Moon, Virgo Rising. Welcome to your full moon in Capricorn reading. The full moon is a fellow earth sign of Capricorn. That is happening on July 3rd at 39 a.m. Eastern Time Zone here in the U.S. There is a time zone calculator in the description box below so that you can find out exactly where it is happening for you. So, your overall energy here, you have the blue bell, which says gratitude. Be thankful for what is good now. And so that attitude of gratitude is going to be what converts, what changes what's going on in your life. So with the full moon, we always want to release and let things go in order to allow other things to come in to create space. It's sort of like reorganizing the closets or the garage or whatever, and then you have created space. I want to say that space might be actually something that you're grateful for also. I have a space in a closet that I leave empty just so that I feel like, wow, look at that. I don't have everything stuffed everywhere. So whatever works for you. So there is a need to really commit in your heart to this gratitude because you have a lot of anxiety cards here. And so when we focus on the lower vibrational, what we focus on is where the energy is going to go. And that's why they're really recommending this gratitude energy. I can tell you that right now. When we focus on our fears, our anxieties, our doubts, that's where the energy goes. And then all of a sudden things come in that look like what we're afraid of. You have the power to also manifest the opposite way. When you focus on the things that you're grateful for and you really put your energy into this is the stuff that is really good in my life, then you create more of that. And so I think releasing the self-doubt with this full moon, the anxiety over, and it looks like something around the home space possibly is what's going on. So the overall energy is the card of anxiety. We have the little mice. They're nibbling away. They're taking her resources, and she's sitting there like, this is almost like watching maybe inflation or something, and you feel like there's nothing you can do about it. But instead, in that case, what I did was I looked to where prices weren't going up in my life, and I focused on, well, at least it didn't go up there. Or how can I make more money? And I was grateful that I was able to make more money to accommodate some things, and where can I reduce my expenses, right? And so there's something like that. It doesn't have to be about finances, but there's something where there's a lot of doubt around the situation, and you need a game plan, and that clarity is not coming in. And I think part of it is because the mind is working really hard right now, and we have Mercury getting ready to go retrograde in your sign. And so I don't have my book with me, so I can't tell you exactly, but it goes into shadow in the next couple of weeks, and then it retrogrades, and before it stations direct in September. I think it clears the shadow in September during your sun sign season. So we have Mercury getting ready to do a retrograde, which is going to slow things down, muddle things up, and create some kinds of delays for you in some arena of your life. And so if you are putting together travel plans or you're trying to launch something, trying to get that done sooner rather than later may be really stressing you out. And it might be that it's not the right time. And if possible, can you delay until it stations and moves out of its shadow, and work with the energy to review the ideas around the plan, to review the ideas around the goals and the dreams, and start counting your blessings along the way. So, interesting reading I can see developing here. In the key of the situation is the anchor. And here we have her dancing with joy, right? So, what grounds you, what anchors you, what is good that you can anchor your energy of joy into? There's a real need for you to find those things, and I feel like there's multiple things here because there seems to be, wow, you got changes coming, and I think it's making you feel a little uncomfortable. You are a mutable sign. I love that they say move and adapt. If you guys can't do it, nobody can. because your ability to see things coming and make the adjustments. So there's some choice and decision making. The card of the choice and the decision making is where you've been seeking the knowledge, right? And the obstacle here is the clarity. And so what do I do? How do I go? Where do I proceed from here? And the key to the situation here is to anchor down into what is solid, what is strong, what you know for sure. And so sometimes I find that it helps for me personally to make a list of not a pros and cons list, but more of a list of, okay, so this, I've got more like an asset list. Here's what I got going on. Here's what I can count on. Here's what I know is solid. And then I start putting together the puzzle from there. So where are the shortfalls? What do I need? Because you have this card of commitment here in what needs to transform. And so when you have move and adapt, and you have the sunrise, sunset, new doorways, so new opportunities are coming in, there's a contract, a commitment. For some of you, it could be marriage, but it could be marriage, right? With the anchor here and the card of the heart showing up in the heart space. This is about doing something that resonates in your heart space no matter what. It could be a new job opportunity. It could be moving a home, because in the area of resources, you have the home. But for some of you, it may be that you have to take a second mortgage out on your home in order to pay for something, because that's a resource that you have. There's a lot of doubt. Okay, so in the card of the anxieties, we have the moon. The moon can also be anxiety. It's about not being really sure. It's about seeing shadows everywhere. And seeking the clarity has been very difficult. But it's also a card about using your intuition. And somehow you're not trusting yourself. And so you're being invited into your heart space to really trust yourself, to really see what the opportunities and the goals are. So I don't know. It looks glitchy on this end as I'm recording. I don't really know what's going on today. We do have a storm coming in, and so it might be messing things up. I'm just going to keep moving here because that's not going to be any better. It's just not. So in the area of what to anchor into, we have the card of burden. They aren't asking you to anchor into the burden. They're asking you to use the full moon to release the burden. The key to the situation is right here. It's anchoring into the joy. And so it's kind of the choice you have right now. You can choose to move toward the joy, or you can choose to feel, it feels confused. I feel confused. This sunrise sunset card with the new doorways, I have to tell you, since the equinox happens at the end of your sign, it feels significant, almost like that's where the doorway happens. Venus is right now doing a retrograde through Leo's, the sign of Leo, and she clears the shadow of that retrograde at the 1010 gateway, which happens during your sun sign. No, not yours, during Libras. But if you are a Virgo rising, she's doing this retrograde in your house of spirituality and wrapping things up in cycles. And so there is, like, really feels like there's a doorway that opens up with that 1010 gateway right there around the equinox. You have relationship balance coming out here. I don't know why we pulled another card here. So this relationship balance, there's something where there's a need to really commit to something of value that brings everything back into balance by seeing the good. Really seeing the good and not focusing on the less than perfect things. You have the tower here and the action to take. And so this is taking a higher vantage point. This is also about being guided and protected. It's being able to see things in more of its totality of what's going on. When you count your blessings, you open new doorways to more success and more opportunities to come in. That's That's just the law of the universe. Gratitude opens the doors to more opportunities and more success. And here you have power symbol to create lucky serendipitous events. You have the power to open new doorways. You have the power to open new doorways. It starts with counting your blessings. That is the magic potion. When we use the words I am, that is the spelling, right? That is the magic words. That is the magic wand that we wave over our lives. So when we say, I am too fat, I am too sad, I am too stressed, why, then you just become more of those things because you just said, I am. And the universe goes, oh, okay, you are. If you say, I am grateful for the many, many blessings in my life, those that I've already experienced, those that I'm experiencing now, and those that I'm experiencing in the near future, that's the doorway. I've never heard them tell me that one before. I like that one. I'll have to go back and listen to it. You might want to back that up and write that stuff down because that was good. I feel the energy around. I can't remember what I said because I'm channeling. Okay, so we have here, you have the card of forgiveness. Wow. Full moon in Pisces. That happens during your sun sign season, full moon in Pisces. So, forgiving yourself for not getting things right, forgiving others for not getting things right. But really, I think we're our own worst critics, particularly when we have strong Virgo placements. I do. And it's really hard for me to accept that I don't do things perfectly the first time. And then, you know, when we recognize that we have total control over a lot of things in our lives, and when we realize that we don't get it right, then it becomes a lot easier to recognize other people are not getting it right either because they're in the similar boat. And it makes it a lot easier in general. You have a lot of Mercury energy showing up here. You have the last quarter moon in Gemini and the new moon in Gemini. And since Gemini rules, not Gemini, but Mercury also rules your sign, you've got to think it through and clear your mind. And then go for it. So forgive the things that seem like mistakes. Think it through. By choosing your words, by choosing to work with the gratitude, by choosing to learn, gather the wisdom from the experience. And understand that there are new doorways opening, and the gratitude that you have for the things that have already really worked in your favor, and your recognition of it, your verbal recognition of it. They're saying verbal recognition. So this feels like a morning ritual kind of thing that you do, and maybe even in the evening as you go to sleep. This verbal recognition with gratitude, of gratitude, for the things that are positive and strong in your life. It is like it's a key that opens the door. And then you have Aries, new moon in Aries. Go for it. So we had 2 new moons in Aries back during Aries season. So one was at the beginning, like the middle of March, and one was right there in, the day before the sun moved into Taurus. So we had one at 0 degrees and one at 29 degrees. So we had 2 new moons. One of them was an eclipse. So think about that time frame from mid-March to mid-April. What was that dream, that goal, that thing you really wanted to do? Create some space for it by letting go of your anxiety and worries about it and go for it. With strategy, I can see that there's some clarity, right? There's some clarity that's needed here, a higher vantage point though. But it's going to bring things more into balance in your life. You're going to have to make some adjustments. When you have relationship balance and move and adapt, relationship is how 2 things interact. So it's how you interact with your environment. It's how you interact with other people. It's how, when you set things down on a table and you organize them in a certain manner, they're in relationship to each other. It's how things are relative to each other. And so part of this forgiveness could also be looking at the big picture and seeing, is it really worth spending my emotional energy on this thing, that if I take a higher vantage point and I really look at it, does it really matter that much? I don't really understand why this full moon is triggering this exactly for you. It's a whole different message than anybody else has gotten. So Virgo, there is something really happening here that's really important about understanding the power of your words and your thoughts, and how that, because you are ruled by Mercury, is your magic wand. It's everybody's, but for some reason, for you right now, it is supercharged. It is supercharged. So the energy of gratitude seems to be the thing. I'm working with Venus over on Facebook. I invite you to join me over there. We are looking, we do the daily astrology over there. We're looking to see how we can empower ourselves working with Venus. So come and join us. It's free to do that. Check it out. You might like it. And I am doing readings. I have a couple spots opened up. If you want to get something for your birthday season, I have not opened up the September one, but if you message me and you say I'm a Virgo and I want one for my birthday season, I will put you at the top of my list for, because I'll be looking at September here, and I will totally fit you in somehow. So if you got something on your mind and you want to get a reading, let's make that work. Information for that is in the description box below, you guys. Take good care of yourself. Release and let go of your doubts about you and about situations. And they're showing me Scrooge McDuck swimming through the coins, but they're coins of gratitude. So apparently there's a lot of gratitude you could be swimming in. It's kind of a fun image. All right, you guys take really good care, and I'll talk to you again soon.